Professional street racing is a big scene. It's a global deal. It's huge. We've done that. We built the world around that, and we've placed you in that world to compete at the highest level of street racing. There'll be 7 licensed tracks this year, and there'll also be 7 street racing inspired tracks. So we went to spots around the world, looked at spots that were famous for street racing, and built our race-friendly interpretations of those areas. Visual customization is deeper than it was last year. The big difference in visuals this year is that auto sculpt, which allowed you to really tune your car using morph targets and sliders last year. This year affects performance. So we built a wind tunnel feature in this year. So as you're auto sculpting your car and changing its exterior visuals, you're also affecting the drag and downforce top speed of your car. 2 other main modes that we're showing today are drag, and we're showing drift for the first time. So drag and drift this year are both based on the entirely rewritten physics. They work a little differently than you've seen in previous Need for Speeds. Drag, for instance, is really about competing on street or on track locations, and your goal is just to be able to control the enormous powers of these drag cars, trying to keep them straight, take off from the line in a good way, shift at the right times, and control the car down the track. Or in a variant, wheelie mode, trying to maintain the longest possible wheelie down the track. Drift is also based on the new revised physics this year, and so your goal with drift is to maintain the optimal angle and speed and get around the track with as long a continual drift at the highest possible speed and angle you can deliver. So drift and drag take place all over the world on both street and track locations and are very different depending on where you are. There'll be 8-player online racing, and the majority of the modes there'll be 2-player where it makes more sense to have 2-player. There'll be tournaments that can be run. The 2 big online innovations this year are, one, with that deep performance and visual customization system this year, we built in a blueprint system. That means that if you're a great tuner, you can build that blueprint, save it, and share it with your friends. And these blueprints can move virally, shared from person to person, but you always get credit as the guy who built that car. The other big online innovation this year is our social competition. So you can build your own custom race day, share it with your friends, and they can race against your shadow or the shadows of up to 7 others of your friends together.
One of the new modes we're featuring this year is called grip racing. Grip racing is essentially a bunch of competitors getting together using street rules. There are no red flags or yellow flags. Everybody just races what they brought, and they try to compete at the highest level they can. Whoever is the fastest guy on the track wins. It's about traction, maintaining as much traction as you can around each corner. Just really trying to push your car to the limits and do whatever is necessary. You have to hit a guy, you do whatever you can. So damage is a huge thing for us this year, probably one of the biggest features in Pro Street. We want people to have freedom to crash and bang into each other. Damage visually is going to be fantastic. We've got real-time deformation of the cars, we've got scratch maps, parts are going to be flying off, hitting other cars. So you have to kind of balance out how much do you want to hit a guy, how aggressive do you want to be from race to race, because it will persist. If you damage a car in one race, the next race you go into, that damage is still going to be there. So at some point, there's going to be diminishing returns where you really have to be careful about how aggressive you are with the other AI.
created a very in-depth fictional world that this takes place in. One of the key components to this fictional world is what we've called the race day experience. We have taken different aspects of automotive youth culture and fused that into the game. There are 7 race organizations. These are street racers that are putting on races around the world. So there's different visual styles, graphics, urban art, inflatables, music, fashion. All these things shift as the player's going through their career. Battle Machine is the first race organization that the player is going to come across. They're a bit of a rough crowd. They've only recently stopped illicit racing. The music style is dance punk. The visual style we're calling combat rock. React Team Sessions comes from Japan. They've recently started organizing events in Europe. Musically, they have a very pure electronic sound. We've also looked at a VJ style for their visuals. Super Promotion are the biggest race organization. They put on races all over the world. At this stage, the player's competing on an international stage. We're calling their visual style super sexy. There's a lot of images of girls in their graphics. Rogue Speed is the drag racing organization. They're very much focused on muscle cars and an American style. You hear hard rock music, and there's a bit of a tough, slightly gothic edge to their visuals. Noise Bomb is the drifting organization. They come out of Japan. They're mostly focused on Japanese drift car style. Visually, we're calling their style 8-bit, which is inspired by retro video game. The Nitrocide organization is all about speed. This is a group of people that have been putting on top speed events in the Nevada desert for many years now. G-Effect is based out of Germany, and they run all the grip events in the game. You're going to be seeing a minimalist tech style to their visuals. You're going to be hearing electro rock music, and you're going to find that you're going to be racing against a lot of European machinery.
All of the organizations in Pro Street have their own unique culture. The style of cars and the race disciplines all reflect the global nature of street racing in our game.